Hey, Quarantine Day 6, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite movies. Yes. And today I'm going to be doing a movie review on a movie I watched last night, and that is The Departed. The Departed. Yes, not The Departed, is The Departed in a in a Boston accent. So, The Departed is a movie directed by the one and only legendary Martin Scorsese, and it is a film released in 2006. It has been very much talked about. A lot of people love this movie. It is an awesome crime police thriller type movie, and it's gained a lot of traction. But little do people know that this movie is actually a nearly scene by scene remake of a Hong Kong movie by the name of Infernal Affairs, or in Cantonese, Mo Gando, which is a film released in 2002 and is one of my favorite Hong Kong films of all times. And so, if you're watching this movie review now because you love The Departed, please, I beg you, watch Infernal Affairs. You're gonna love it as well. But anyways, let's talk about The Departed here. Yeah, I think mainly the reason why I want to do this review is because I want to talk about how this movie is different from Infernal Affairs and why this movie is a lot more successful. First of all, of course, it's a lot more successful. It's made in America by Americans, and it's more available to American audiences and English speaking audiences. So obviously, it's a lot more popular and successful, but also it's a lot more palatable to the Western audiences because The Departed is actually more violent and more gruesome than Infernal Affairs, whereas the Hong Kong version, the original, is more clean cut. But just because it's clean cut doesn't mean it's bad. It's very much the Hong Kong slash East Asian style of thrillers, especially in the late 90s when a lot of movies just start to become very clean and it's sort of an aesthetic in its own. And because of that, the Hong Kong original version of this movie is a lot bleaker. And I think that fits the Hong Kong vibe a lot as well because it makes the movie feel more dystopian, whereas an American remake doesn't really need that at all. Another thing is this remake is a lot less cheesy, and I don't mean that in an absolutely good way. Obviously, I hate cheesy dialogue and cheesy scenes, but the cheesiness of Infernal Affairs is also one of the reasons why I like it because it's just such a vibe, it's just such an aesthetic. I mean, if you watch Star Wars and Harry Potter, they have their share of cheesy moments as well. And I think same applies for Infernal Affairs. Yeah, it's cheesy, but it is so deep into it, you actually enjoy it. And again, the bleak atmosphere of the original is great. I also think the cash exchange scene and the building chase scene in the original is a lot more suspenseful. Unfortunately, that is also my main gripe with the remake, that is The Departed. It's that a lot of the scenes that are super suspenseful in the original feels less suspenseful here for some reason. Maybe it's because of how hyperactive the editing is in this movie, which I actually really like. I think the editing is easily the most amazing part about The Departed. It's the editing. There are a lot of scenes that feel like montages, but because of the way it's edited, it feels like it makes sense and it just coasts through like that. But because it is paced like that, a lot of more suspenseful scenes come off a little too fast. Now, what I like about The Departed is its ending. The ending to The Departed is actually a little bit different, just a tad bit different from the original. And I like the ending to the original. I also like the ending to The Departed in another way. Because the ending to The Departed is almost like it has sort of a Coen Brothers esque dark humor in it, which I really like. And I know Scorsese predates the Coen Brothers by miles. I know that. But it really reminds me of, Coen Brothers' Blood Simple, Burn After Reading type movie ending. And overall, this is actually a really solid movie, aside from the fact that some of the scenes are not as suspenseful as they are in the original. Overall, everything about this movie is pretty great. It's really well edited, it's really well acted, and the 2.5 hour long runtime feels really short. And I also think this is the most accessible Scorsese film, even more so than like The Wolf of Wall Street. A lot of film bros love The Wolf of Wall Street. And I guess if you are a more of a mainstream moviegoer and you want to get into Scorsese, don't start off with Raging Bull. Don't start off with Taxi Driver. You're gonna be bored out of your minds. Start off with this one. Start off with The Departed because it is Scorsese. You can feel that it's Scorsese. You can feel the style, the performances, the way the characters swear. Some of the roasts in this movie are hilarious. There's a scene where it's Alec Baldwin and Mark Wahlberg together in a conference room, and they just rapid fire roast each other, like your mom and your mom jokes and all that. And it was amazing. It was actually a very underrated scene. Of course, we also get the other iconic moments like Jack Nicholson pulling out a real gun in front of Leo DiCap, and Matt Damon is great in this movie as well. And yeah, the most accessible Scorsese, that's without a doubt. And I also think I generally dislike American remakes because why do you have to remake, our movies? What are you doing? But if somebody's got to properly do an American remake, it's got to be Scorsese. So yes, these are my thoughts on The Departed. It's a good movie. I like it. I still prefer the original over this one, because it's just a lot bleaker and a lot more serious. There's a scene, again, the building chase scene. In the original, it's a lot more bombastic because I'm not going to spoil what happens, but the climax of that scene involves a car being crushed. Whereas in this one, whereas in the Departed, there's no cars in that scene. So yeah, but I wish a car would be crushed in that scene. But yeah, still good film, 9 out of 10. Yes. So, have you watched The Departed? From 1 to 10, how much you rate it? Like it, like, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching.